As classes went on, they also discovered that Sodi liked subjects like mathematics, basic science, and basic technology, while Tefra liked French, literature, and fine arts.
Hello and welcome to Represented, the podcast, storybooks and more for African kids. I'm your host today. My name is Tonye Ekezie, and it's just me today. Ugo is not able to join us but sends you his love. Now, what are we doing today? Well, the podcast aims to shine a light on the amazing content out there by African authors and content makers, which feature African characters. At Simone's Oasis, our motto is empowering the African child through entertainment. And so with our podcast, we make it easy for parents to discover books and more that have their children fully represented because #representation matters. So today we're super excited to introduce our guests. They enjoy reading books and review the books read. Kids Books Review NG is anchored by three sisters, Tamara, Ebinemi, and Tonye Ebitonmor. Their mission is to inspire children all over the world to love books and imbibe the reading culture because there are so many benefits of reading. It improves your knowledge, imaginative and creative writing skills, communication skills, and so much more. They read both local and international books and review them. These book review videos are then uploaded on their Instagram page at Kids Books Review NG. They have been interviewed and featured by the Akado Children Book Festival, Young Rulers Magazine, and participated in loads of book launches. And they've been interviewed by different authors, radio stations. They are really making waves with what they do. Some of you may be familiar with our guests, Ebinemi and Tonye Ebitonmor today, from our Simone's Oasis YouTube channel, which features some kids' books review episodes. We will meet these amazing young ladies right after the break. I'm Tonye Ekezie, and if you're enjoying this episode of Represented Podcast Storybooks and More for African Kids, brought to you by Simone's Oasis and Africa Business Radio, why not listen to our other podcast, Special Moms Africa? Real talk on special needs parenting. Don't forget to put on your notifications, like, and enjoy. Welcome back. And yes, we meet our guests. Tonye, say hi.
Hi, everybody.
Ebinemi, say hi.
Hi, everyone.
They are such cute, wonderful, smart young ladies, and it's just a real privilege to have you in the studio. Now, why are you so passionate about books?
Well, ever since we were like 4 or 5, we started reading books, and we even had like this little library in our parlor, and we just loved reading books. We kept on collecting books and putting them into the library until the library was full. And books just like open like an entire new world for a person, and the more books you read, the more you get to know, and you just feel as if you're in a whole different dimension. So I really love reading books because sometimes I even dream about books. It just gets in my dream, and books just really inspire me to do amazing things.
Wow. And Tonye, for you, is it the same?
Not that much. Because books to me, they like take you on an imaginary adventure.
Yes. Love that. So where can books take you?
Books can take you to many places.
I love that. So it's clear that you're both very passionate. So how did you get started with Kids Books Review? And what age were you? Because how old are you guys now? How old are you ladies now?
I'm 11.
I'm 8.
Yeah, you're 8 and 11. So when did you get started, and how did you get started with Kids Books Review?
Well, first it was with Tamara and I think Tammy was, 8 or something, and I was 5. I'm pretty sure Tammy was, I'm not really sure, but I know it was around that 5 age. So like at first we were just reading books, and my mom would like try to confirm if we actually read the books, because she said we shouldn't be spending too much time on our devices. And then we would tell her what we read in the book. So then after a while, she started videoing us, and then she set up like a page of herself where she posted the books. But first, we didn't have our own personal page. We just posted it like on her own Instagram page.
On your mom's page?
Yes. Then after that, we got our own page and we named it Kids Books Review.
Nice.
And after a while, we also got like people who came to our house to review books, but we stopped that now because my mom just does it herself.
Wow. It sounds like you have kind of a really supportive mom that helps you to achieve this dream. So it just shows how important intentional parenting is with this and support from your parents. So Tonye, I'm going to ask you something. Does it get really annoying working with your sister?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah, it can be annoying. Why?
Yeah, because she's she'll now be always tapping like twinge. And they're just so annoying.
Yeah. So, but you still love it so much, right?
I still love it so much.
Yes.
But Ebinemi ruins it.
Well, even in that annoyance, how do you go about picking the books that you review, Tonye?
All I have to do is that I look at the book, read the book, and then I see, is this the book I want to read? It looks very good, I like it. But then I need one that actually is good for my mood.
Fantastic. And what's your book picking mechanism, Ebinemi?
Well, sometimes whenever we go to like a banner or something like that, I normally look through the books. I look through the pages or I look at the back of the book. But there was one time where we went to Roving Heights to buy a book, and Tammy saw this book that the name of the author had Tamara as the name, and she picked that book, but the book wasn't even like that interesting at all. So the book just is still there in our library, and she's only read half of the book. So maybe sometimes it's not that good to pick the book just because the author has the same name as you.
Although Tonye picked mine.
Yes, but that's different because she looked through the book and she
the
liked
book was interesting.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
so with that, tell me, Tonye, what do you think makes a good book?
A good book has to have a main character, like adventure scenes, mysterious scenes, and friendship.
Lovely. And for you, Ebinemi?
Well, I think a good book, the same main character thing Tonye said, and the twist has to be surprising. I don't like books that can already figure out the ending.
Right?
I like books that you won't even suspect this happening. It's totally
just keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole time.
And I also like books that have part 2s and part 3s.
Yes.
I can now collect the books. Like there was this book, I can't really remember the name, but it had to do with elves and magic. Like she thought she was a human, but she was actually an elf. And then he had 3 books, and she thought she was like spectacular or something. Then I can't really spoil the book, but since
those
type of books, I just don't want them to end because they're so interesting. That's wish they could go on and on and on.
Wonderful. So today you have both come with a book we're going to read excerpts from.
Yeah.
So let us start with Ebinemi. Ebinemi, give us the title of your book, who it's by, and the title of the chapter you're going to be reading.
Okay, so I'm going to be reading Sodality, A Tale of Friendship by Chioma Adiru, and I'm going to be reading chapter 2, The Fallout. The days went by and the students got to know their subject teachers. They liked some of them while they were scared of others. I can relate to that. Some teachers were friendly whilst other teachers were very strict. In the meantime, Sodi and Tefra got to know each other better. They found out both of their dads were fans of the same football club, liked pounded yam with egusi soup, and had grown up in the same town. As classes went on, they also discovered that Sodi liked subjects like mathematics, basic science, and basic technology, while Tefra liked French, literature, and fine arts. One day, while on their way back from the talk shop, Tefra asked Sodi, "Do you know if our math class will hold today?" "Yes, it will." Tefra looked worried. "What is the matter, Tefra?" "I haven't done my assignment yet." Sodi gasped. "Why?" "It's just too hard.
But Tephra is just fractions, said Sodi, laughing. Sodi, it's not funny, I'm going to fail. You won't, I'll help you. Thanks a lot, Tephra said with great relief. They wrapped their snacks to finish them in class. Eating on the road was against school rules. The boys had just walked into the classroom when Miss Osamuje entered. The students quickly settled down. Good afternoon, madam. Good afternoon. Tear out a sheet of paper. Everyone gasped with surprise. She had not told them that they were going to write a test before the class. Why are you looking like me like that? Don't waste my time. Tephra could feel his heart beating faster as he tore out a sheet of paper from an exercise book. Mrs. Osamije had started writing the questions on the blackboard. He looked at Sodi, who was looking at the board with full concentration. You have 20 minutes. Start. Everyone faced his or her paper immediately. Sodi was solving the fractions as quickly as he could. Tephra was not sure of what to do. He kept looking at everyone and everything except his test sheet. Mrs. Osamije was watching him, so he decided to start copying out the questions to look busy. After a few minutes, he kicked at Sodi's foot. Sodi simply dusted his foot and pulled away, wrapping it around his other foot as he continued writing. 10 minutes more, came Miss Osamije's voice. Tephra began to stretch his neck in an attempt to spy Sodi's answer sheet, but his friend's hand blocked his view. He felt like he was going through a nightmare. 5 minutes more, the teacher announced. He tried solving the fractions himself, but he did not know where to start. He kept looking at Sodi, but his friend did not even look at him. Get ready to stop. Tephra's eyes went hot with tears. He just sat helpless. Time up, stop writing, announced Miss Osamije. As she went from desk to desk picking up their test papers, she piled them together and left the classroom, taking the test papers with her. There was an outburst of excitement and confusion from the students, but Tephra was silent. Sodi placed his hand on his friend's shoulder. How did it go? Get away from me! You're a bad friend, Tephra snapped as he pushed his hand away. Sodi was shocked. What did I do? He asked, quite confused. You promised to help me, but she entered before I could explain it to you. Why didn't you help me during the test? Sodi looked puzzled. During the test? He asked. Of course. When else would you have done it? But we're not allowed to talk during tests or exams. It's cheating. People that don't want to share what they know always says that. I stepped on you, but you didn't answer me. I thought it was a mistake, Sodi explained. Is that so? What about how you covered your paper to make sure I didn't see anything? Tephra queried further. That must be the way I write. I can't believe you're trying to make me feel bad for not cheating. Then it makes you feel good to see me fail? But you know it was not my fault. I never want to speak to you again, Tephra shouted as he put his head on his desk and backed Sodi. That evening at Sodi's house, the family was having beans and rice with fish stew for dinner. Sodi was playing with his cutlery set. Sodi, why aren't you eating your food? His mother asked. I'm not hungry, Mommy. But it's your favorite dish, his mother pressed. Mr. Okoli looked at his son closely. What is bothering you? Nothing, Daddy, Sodi replied. Mr. Okoli did not believe his son. He pressed further. How was school today? A math teacher gave us a test. How did it go? It was easy for me. That's my boy, said Mr. Okoli, proudly patting Sodi on the head. Then why do you look so sad? Nothing. May I be excused? I want to go to bed. You may go, his father said. Make sure you brush your teeth and say your prayers, his mother added. Sodi said goodnight to his parents and went to his room. He found it hard to sleep. He kept on thinking about Tephra and the quarrel they had. He wondered if he was really a bad friend and how he would cope without speaking to his friend.
Wow, seems like there's trouble brewing. What is the actual whole book about?
Well, from the beginning, the book shows Sodi running to school and he's late for school. This is how he and Tephra met. They ran into the assembly and while the principal was speaking, they spoke to each other and that's how the
like friendship started and how they bonded and stuff. Then after the maths test, like what I just read, and how he didn't cheat with him, Tefra started sitting with Muyowa, which is the class bully. When they were reading out the English scores, because Tefra is not good at math, but Sodi is not that good at English. Sodi got 1/10. Then Muyowa in class started calling him 1/10, and everyone started calling him that.
That's not nice.
No, that's not nice at all. Then later, a new girl came into class, and her name was Fatima. And the teacher told him to sit beside Sodi. But she kept on annoying him with questions. I kept asking, why did they call you 1/10? Why are you covering your hand? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? But Sodi didn't want to talk to her at all. At last, they finally became friends, and they began to study with each other. And he also told her the story about why he was called 1/10. So, after later on, the school had this, like, quiz competition with another school, and the smartest girl in their class, Cindy, went with them and formed the team that they were going against the other school. So during the competition, Cindy didn't say anything, and everyone was surprised. They still won the competition, I think, and the teachers were all questioning Cindy while she wasn't saying anything. And it turns out that later on, after that, they made her sit alone during the exam, and she completely failed the exam. But first term, she was getting a lot of good scores, but now she wasn't. So the teacher later on went to the principal's office, and it turns out that because she cheated throughout the whole of her first term's exam, and that's why she couldn't say anything in the competition.
Okay. So I think we get a real good idea of the story.
But about the
let's not spoil anymore.
Okay,
what's the
I won't
title of the
spoil
book?
anything.
Tell the title of the book again and who it's by.
The book is called Sodality, A Tale of Friendship.
And who's it by?
Chioma Adiru.
So really very interesting book. Very familiar book, especially if you go to school.
Yeah.
So it's something that a lot of us will know. We are going to get Tonye's pick of the book that she's going to share today right after this break. I'm Tonye Falogi Ekezie, and if you're enjoying this episode of Represented Podcast Storybooks and More for African Kids, brought to you by Simone's Oasis and Africa Business Radio, why not listen to our other podcast, Special Moms Africa? Real talk on special needs parenting. Don't forget to put on your notifications, like, and enjoy. Welcome back, and let's keep it moving. Tonye, please, what is the book that you've picked to share?
Okay, the name of my book is Craft and Attitude, Creativity Saves the Day.
And who's it by?
It's by Okudu Ogbechi.
And give us a quick summary of what it's about.
The book is about a girl named Aloy. She's a little girl who lives with her parents in a small town. A situation arises that gets Aloy to start thinking differently. She soon realizes that sometimes doing it yourself and spending your time wisely can go a long way in helping one achieve their dreams. And with her annoying little sister or friend stop her.
So what chapter from the book are you reading?
So I'm going to be reading chapter 3, The Gift.
The Gift, when you're ready.
So Aloy got to her room, thought for a while. Then she brought out her jotter and started writing down all the things she could possibly make for her mom on this special occasion. Finally, Aloy decided to make a purse and a matching bracelet for her. She got dressed, and with her dad, they left for the craft store. Luckily, with her savings, Aloy was able to get all she needed to make the purse and bracelet for her mom. She left the craft store very happy and eager to get started on her mom's gift. When they got home, she noticed that her mom and little sister were back. She asked her dad to keep their outing a secret and went straight to her room to keep the items they bought before coming out to greet her mom. "Hello, Mom. Where have you been?" Aloy asked with a smile. "Where's AK?" Her little sister, AK. "She's fast asleep," answered her mom. "Come give Mommy a hug," said the mom. "Good," Aloy thought to herself as she hugged her mom. AK could be really noisy and annoying, and she did not want any distractions from her. Immediately, she got back to her room. She locked her door and began working on her mom's gift. In a short time, she finished making the purse and bracelets, and they looked really beautiful. She heaved a sigh of relief. She could now give her mother a befitting gift for that special occasion. A lawyer couldn't wait to give them to her mom the next day. Happily, she went looking for her mom to ask about plans for that day. The day had finally arrived. The house was buzzing with excitement. Aunties and uncles' visits. Family, friends came around, and Mom was very busy cooking and preparing all kinds of dishes. A lawyer waited patiently for the right time to present a gift. When it was time, the gift was nowhere to be found. What happened? Find out when you read the book. Thank you.
Absolutely well read, and I'm on the edge of my seat. Fantastic job. So, you've both shared 2 books by Nigerian authors. Why do you think it's so important for other kids to see your reviews?
It's important because it's actually very close to our mission. It's our mission. Because we want other kids to be inspired and now start reading books, reviewing more. That's the mission.
And Ebinemi?
I think it because it inspires a lot of other children. For me personally, some people might think like during long break going to the library is a boring and not interesting thing to do, but the library has a lot of fun books. So when you go to your friend, you can even read the same book and have a book club and talk about it later. So reading books can also be a lot of fun. And sometimes they have advice they can give you, even if it's not one of those like advice books. It could just be a normal story book, like the book that I was reading. But something in the book happened and you don't know what to do, like about his friend Tefra. You can easily just make a new friend who isn't like that and who won't bring you down just because you didn't want to cheat with them.
And from the mouth of babes, such is said. One last question, because we've run out of time. One last question. Do you plan to write your own book?
Yes, I've started writing on my computer.
Oh, fantastic.
But then I haven't finished it.
And actually, I've already finished writing a book.
What?
But I need someone to illustrate it. I could tell you what... Should I tell you what the book is about?
Oh, no.
I'm going to tell you the name of my book.
No. You can tell us the title of yours, Tonye. What's the title of yours?
The title of mine is The Mystery Person.
Oh, I'm so intrigued already. And the title of yours?
I actually even went for creative writing classes just to get the book done. It's somewhere around here in Ikoyi. The name of my book is called The Opposite Attitude.
Wow. I love both those titles. And we look forward to reading those books when they're out. The next step is, the illustrations. Yeah. There's so much that goes into writing a book. And I'm just so happy to know that finally that you both are ready to make your own and share them with the world. Now, that's the end of our show. It's been great having you on, Tonye and Ebinemi Ebitonmor of Kids Books Review NG. Can you tell us your social media handles?
Well, for our Instagram page is Kids Books Review, and our Instagram page is Kids Books Review NG, and our YouTube channel is also Kids Books Review NG. We also have an Instagram page called Sisters Who Inspire, but that's
because you're sisters who inspire.
Yes, but that's not only for book reviews; it's also for other things.
Where you see Tonye dancing and doing some funny stuff. Yeah,
TikTok.
It's wonderful. Anything else you'd like to say, Tonye, my namesake?
I don't think so.
Okay. Ebinemi?
No, not really.
Just go out there, read books. They open your mind, they open your imagination, and they open you to the world.
Yeah,
but I also want to
I have this poem to say. The more you read, the more you know. The more you learn, the more places you go. Beautiful. By Dr. Seuss.
Wonderful.
I also want to say something also. I just want to tell you guys that the first 2 copies of my book is going to be for free.
Wow, so you've heard that here first. When her book comes out, the first 2 copies will be free. And that's it. This has been Represented Podcast, Storybooks and More for African Kids. I've been your host, Tonye Falogi Ekezie, and we will see you, listen to you, hear you be in your essence the next time. Till then, take care and kisses. Mwah, 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 mwah. Bye.
Bye.
For sponsorship inquiries, you can DM us at Simone's Oasis on social media or send an email to hello@simones-oasis.com.